What's way more painful than most people think? Spine injuries and back pain from it are no joke. I have 8 herniated discs. When one of those strikes a nerve literally, it will bring you to your knees. Back spasms that hurt so much you can't even breathe. I have had those too and can relate for sure. I think back pain is dismissed by most as lazy. They really have no idea what some of us go through. Breaking a rib. People see it all of the time on TV and think, I can survive that. Plot twist, you can't move for a while, and when you do it hurts more than you can imagine. I punctured my lungs when I broke like 6 ribs and it was no fun. Like I've had a torn meniscus for the past 2 years and that pain is a cakewalk compared broken ribs. Can I ask what happened? Infected tooth, holy moly. I'm experiencing this right now. I was halfway through a root canal treatment. No dentists are allowed to work due to COVID-19 and so I have an open tooth that keeps getting infected. 3rd time so far. It's not nice lying in bed not being able to sleep because you can feel your heart beating in your teeth. My father-in-law is a dentist and they were definitely allowed to see patients in an emergency. A lot of states use the SAM guidelines. If yours won't see you, maybe shop around. I hope you at least are getting antibiotics. This may sound weird, but being punched, especially in the nose. In movies, people will get punched really hard and just shake it off, but getting punched, even by someone weaker than you, can seriously hurt. And GT, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Mike Tyson. And GT, everyone has a plan until they get bitten in the ear. Evander Holyfield. When I was 19, I was in a car accident. A lifted F-250 hit RS-10 in my side at 65 miles per hour. The frame buckled, which broke the seatbelt, and I went through the window. I bounced off the hood of his truck and rolled down an embankment. I broke basically every bone on the right side of my body, needed physical therapy for years, got a medical discharge from the Naval Academy, had 3 surgeries on my shoulder and 2 for plastic surgery to remove glass from my face. After 6 months my deflated, punctured lung was back up to 80% capacity. I get my jackets tailored to have the right arm shorter than the left because of a bone graft. I would do it all over again to never have another kidney stone. Jesus dude, how are you doing now? Man, I'm not even an adult but I'm already scared of having kidney stones one day just from all the stories. I'm fine now. Just had an unexpected career change. Sciatica, I don't get it anymore, but dear God, when I did it was agonizing. Pain with no purpose and painkillers don't touch it. Despite working in IT, sciatica is the foremost pain in my *****. Mine can get so bad that my left leg is effectively useless until the pain subsides, and sometimes just for fun it will suddenly switch to my right leg. From the center of the butt cheek to the knee is just a continuously agonizing electrified hot wire, all because of a stupid pinched nerve. Don't know the technical name for it, but do a search for ankle on knee stretch. It worked literal wonders for me. Basically you sit down with a straight back. Right ankle on left knee, push down on the right knee slightly until you feel a stretch. And lean forward slowly until you feel a stretch. Opposite ankle and knee for the other side. 10 years ago my bum muscles ripped off the pelvis area, so I was in constant pain 24/7 because the nerve was being pushed into my pelvis, and this is the only exercise that alleviated any pain. Apparently doing it opens up the hole in the pelvis where the nerve clusters go through. When I first did the exercise I went from astonishing pain to bearable immediately. Within a few weeks I was in just bearable pain all the time. Within 6 months I was walking unaided for the first time in 2 years. It may be just me, but give it a try. Who would have thought that peeling a minuscule piece of dead skin around a fingernail can cause a grown man to squeal? Use nail scissors and chop it off. You won't feel it, it's dead skin, and it'll stop you from tearing into the sensitive living flesh. I thought you were talking about nail cutters at first. I didn't know that the term in the object nail scissors exist. Ruptured ovarian cysts. I literally thought my friend was dying. Surprised this isn't higher. I've passed out from the pain of these. Reddit is still vast majority male users. Also, how common are they? Sounds horrifying. I don't want to Google it. Migraines. I got them chronically for several years. Nearly dropped out of school because of them. One of the most invalidating things was when people would say, "Oh, but you're still so clearly, you're not in that much pain." Like, no, I'm just trying really hard to put on a smile and continue living. That's honestly one of my least favorite parts of the migraine. Just because I'm here, doesn't mean I'm not dying inside. I learned a long time ago the world doesn't just stop because I'm in immense pain for days at a time. I still have to work, and that means I have to deal with people. I've gotta keep the pain hidden for my own well-being. It doesn't mean it's not there. Not to mention, not all migraine symptoms are head pains. Finger injuries. They seem so small and inconsequential compared to other types of injuries and pain, but I once managed to shut my finger in a car door and discovered a whole new meaning for pain. I'd always wondered why animals thrash themselves into greater injury when caught in a trap, and boy did I find out. There was no capacity for thought, only blind panic and me flailing wildly like a fish on a line. I've had serious injuries before and since, had major abdominal surgery with a lengthy recovery time, developed repetitive motion injuries, etc., but nothing compares to that, even though it makes me feel like a weenie to say. Actually, I can kinda relate to this one, but in terms of momentary, instant, temporary pain. I've injured my fingers dozens of times, but I think the one that takes the cake is when I was collapsing my brother's wheelchair to put in my car, and got my finger caught somewhere in between two metal folding pieces. My mom was helping me collapse, so I said, "Stop, stop, stop, my finger is stuck," and she came over to help. I thought she'd unfold the chair to let me unstick my finger, but nope, she just grabbed my hand and yanked it out of the jam spot. I don't think I've ever screamed the way I did that day, and I have yet to scream like that since. Even in my worst post-surgery pains, or period cramp pains, I know I've never screamed like that. It was an actual foreign sound to my own ears. Edit. In her defense, she had zero idea how stuck my finger was. She thought it was just caught and needed help removing. She apologized profusely after I was on the ground screaming, "Haha." That made me lightheaded. Any infection in your head, ear, tooth, worse than childbirth, and I did that twice naturally. An ear infection almost ended me. That type of incapacitating pain in your head can make you wish you weren't alive. Ear infections. It hurts to move your jaw at all and feels all stuffed up, but you can't blow like your nose. Stuff constantly coming out if it hurts, and the only thing that helps even a little is having a hot compress on it, but the second you take it off it gets worse again. Not fun. My sister had a bunch when she was younger and always cried like she was dying. I just thought she was faking it to get attention. Fast forward until I got one at 22. Nope, she wasn't faking. I thought my head was going to explode. Kidney stones. I have a high threshold for pain, but my third stone was a doozy. First time I've puked passed out from pain. Now I drink lemon water all day for fear of number 4. This. I also have a high pain threshold. But this pain was bad enough I woke my husband at 3 a.m. to drive me to the ER in the middle of a bad blizzard. I'll never forget giving a urine sample that night. They told me to leave it in the bathroom, but my urine was pure red. I was so shocked I walked across the treatment area with it in my outstretched hand and gave it directly to the attending. I have stones pretty regular, hereditary from my dad's side of the family, and pee Dr. Pepper all the time. Not pooping. Constipation is no joke. I once went about a month without pooping and it was the worst time of my life. It took multiple beep to get everything going again. Even just a couple days of not farting can hurt like month. Getting tear gassed. Like it's not a joke. We had a drill in the army to test if our gas masks worked right and mine didn't. I have also been tear-gassed. I was trying to get home and a riot broke out and I was walking into the wind. Beep is no joke. Same, I got tear-gassed during riots last year. I was just trying to get home tbh and wasn't even on the front line. Endometriosis. Doctor thought my flare-up was a possible appendicitis and I didn't know I was pregnant. Trying to pee on sticks in agony is caught fun. Everything between throat and kneecaps was bringing me pain. You can't stand, sit or lie, you just ride. IBS, anal fissures, hemorrhoids. People joke about something burn more in the out than on the in, but it can truly be horrific. On the ground crying, fetal position kinda pain. And GT, more in the out than on the in. What? It burns more coming out than it did going in. E. Beep burns like hellfire. Ingrown toenails. Yeah, I've had one for 4 years. People always think I'm exaggerating the pain, but they really are horrible. I had surgery last year, but it just came back. I was supposed to have it again, but it got postponed to May. And then we had a global pandemic. I'll be waiting a while for it. I've had mine for about 1.5 years now, and I kind of got used to it. But bumping into something with it is and will forever be a nightmare. Is it inside your nose? Is it in your ear? Biliary colic. First thing I ever passed out on due to the pain. People keep saying, but it's just tummy ache, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it is just a tummy ache. In the same way a broken fibula is just a leg cramp. Having an incarnated toenail. It happens when you cut a toenail too short or with a pointy end. That pointy bit gets into your flesh, and as the nail grows it rips through the toe's flesh. When you walk it feels like you are getting continuously stabbed in the toe. When you stub your foot or get your toe stepped at, the pain is unbearable. The worst part of it is that it can only be cured by surgery or by letting your nail rip all the way through your flesh and skin. If you combine it with your nails growing slowly, it can become several months of slow torture. I had that once. It required minor surgery to fix, which I was so happy to get. The doctors showed it to me afterwards, and it really was like a blade slowly piercing my flesh over an extended period, during which time it became increasingly difficult to walk. UTIs. One of the worst pains I've ever experienced. I used to get chronic UTIs and I would spend hours on the toilet floor screaming out in pain, shivering, sweating, etc. A lot of people think they just make you need to pee more frequently, lol. When a piece of eyelash gets under your contact lenses, and then begins the process of trying to take out the contact while tears are flowing in the eye, just does not want to open back up. Flying when you're having sinus problems. It's agonizing. I had to catch a plane once when